guys, Voxel Pro here, coming at you with a Metal Gear Solid 5 discussion video. I really want this opportunity to discuss things about the Phantom Pain that I would like to see. I got my notes here, and I'm going to be reading off of them because I want to make sure that I get my ideas across as clear as possible. And I tried to tape this once, and it was a little long, so I'm going to try to cut the fat on it, and I'm just going to try to go as quickly as possible. I'm going to start off with the things that I want to see, and then I'm going to start off with the theories, and then I'm going to go to the theories. Sorry. The things I want to see. Okay. So I want to see quick development in weapons and items. If you ever played Peace Walker, you know that you might be stuck on a certain boss, you might be stuck on a high level of tanks or helicopters and ATVs, and you might need a higher upgradable rocket launcher to handle those types of battles and those types of missions. And the problem is that in Peace Walker, when you went to go start development, you know, it wouldn't be done right then and there. You would have to go back into certain missions to kind of like speed up the development process. But you know, contrary to that information, we see that in the TGS Afghan gameplay demo, and I want to say in one of the E3 demos where they're going through the Afghanistan mission, in both we see them developing something and it's done right then and there. So hopefully they continue with that, and hopefully it wasn't influenced by a high R&D level and a lot of GMP that made development go quicker. Maybe that's just how it is. The other thing that I want to see is the pass-off system with CQC. Not to be confused with the consecutive CQC that we've seen in Peace Walker and Ground Zeroes thus far, but something that's akin to something that we saw in Metal Gear Solid 3, where Snake meets Ocelot for the first time, and he's surrounded by the Spetsnaz, and he's got a guy in a chokehold, and we see him throw a soldier into one another while simultaneously dashing into the other one and get ready to put him down. We see this again in Metal Gear Solid 4, where old Snake, Solid Snake, is in Europe, and he's trying to find Big Mama, aka Eva from Metal Gear Solid 3. So I hope they do something like that. The other thing that I want to see is custom pre-saved loadouts, something that we've seen in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Well, pretty much any Call of Duty that's been after the first Modern Warfare. We've seen custom saved preset loadouts, which is the fact that, you know, if you go into a game of Call of Duty like right now, a multiplayer game, you could what you could do is you could pick the weapon that you want, and you can put it in a loadout, and you can save it and name it something. That way, when you respawn the next time you get killed or something, or even when you start the match, you know that that's the way that you want to go. And I want to make this clear because in something like Peace Walker, that would have been beneficial, especially when you had those missions that I was talking about, where you could go up against a helicopter, or missions like heading to the U.S. control tower or something like that, where you need the battle suit, but the weapons that you would need for a tank battle or helicopter battle or ATV battle might be different than that mission, where your mission is just to survive and murder pretty much everybody. And you'll need the different weapons. You'll need a rocket launcher. You might need an assault rifle. You might need a shotgun. You might need a light machine gun. So depending on which situation, you'll have that preset loadout already at the ready, you know, when you're about to head into the mission. So I would like to see that. Another thing that I want to see is more women included in the story. In the past games, there was in the past canon games that's been 3D, there have been at least 2 or 3 women that's had influence over the whole overarching plot, or it's been or they've had influence over that installment. Like without them, something critical would have happened. And I could go down the line. I could say Amanda. I could say Paz. I could say Fortune. Even Fortune had her uses. I could say Naomi Hunter strongly. I could say the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3. Actually, she's really the reason for the whole series. The whole series. I mean, why everything went to crap. That's her. I mean, yes and not really. I mean, she's one that inspired the crap to happen. She's literally the catalyst for it to happen. So there's that, and that brings up something that I have concerns about in Phantom Pain. The other thing is Gray Fox. Gray Fox. The timing's right. It's 1984. We've seen him in Portable Ops. We know that this is about the time to where Big Boss and Frank Yeager come together. Frank Yeager being Gray Fox. That name was revealed in Metal Gear Solid 1. If you're not hip to it, go and play it. It's a great game. It's my favorite, and I think it's the greatest Metal Gear Solid of the series. It had the whole thing going for it. Yeah, I think that this is about the time. Naomi Hunter even said it in a codec conversation near the end of that game, where she was like, we met him in Africa, and Snake was like, who's him? You mean Big Boss? He was like, it was sometime around the 80s. She went on to explain, and the timing's right, and we already seen a number of Metal Gear Solid 1 characters that's been in the Phantom Pain trailers, that's been in the Ground Zero trailers. The fact that we see Psycho Mantis, a child Psycho Mantis, the fact that we see a kid Liquid Snake, it's been doggone near confirmed. We know that Eli is kind of Liquid Snake. So the timing is about perfect. So now I want to move out to concerns and theories. Concern being that Quiet might not be all that important, and the reason why I say that is because, we meet her pretty early on in the game. I want to say the first 10 or so missions, and we know that her storyline is either she's alive or she's not, and once she's alive, once she dies, that's it. Her story's done. There ain't no going back for her. And I can't see her being all that important. She doesn't speak, so we know she's not going to give in any intelligence away. She's really just a gameplay mechanic, the way I see it. And I know that might offend some people, and I'm not saying that she's not great. I'm just saying that we still should treat it as such, that she is just a gameplay mechanic. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the example that we saw in Portable Ops is canon, by the way. I tried to rectify that once before, so I want to make it clear now. Portable Ops is canon. In a Portable Ops mission, we seen the fact that there was a member of the I want to say the Fox Rebellion in San Geronimo called Python, supposed to be the anti-Snake, and he was going to kill Snake. He was going to kill Snake, and if you trained him in that boss battle, you could recruit him. Now, if you trained him, he didn't really provide any relevance to the story. It wasn't really important to the story. He was just kept alive, and he had certain special abilities. You could freeze people's weapons, and they wouldn't be able to use it for a I want to say 30-second, 45-second period. I don't know how long it was, but you could throw liquid nitrogen grenades and they wouldn't be able to use their weapons. But you saw literally no influence from him into the story whatsoever. So that's if he's alive. Now, if he dies, his story just ends there. He just dies, so I'm not really sensing that from Quiet, because here are the facts. We know that she's a boss battle. We know that she can't speak, and we know we meet her pretty early in the game. Like I said, the first 10 or 11 missions. And so that makes me think that her recruitment is something kind of like Python story, where if you train her, you can recruit her, and if you kill her, her story just ends there. Moving on, I think we're gonna see. I think that the skulls that we saw, the skulls are the name of those soldiers, those biomechanical soldiers that we've been hearing so much about within the past week or two. You know, information has been just flooding, and I think they're the precursor to what makes Gray Fox the cyborg ninja. That's just me, because I think in the E3 demo I saw somebody use a machete. I think I saw one of them use a machete or holding something that looked like a sword. I'm like, the only things that ninjas are in Metal Gear Solid franchise, the series, have been Raiden, and that's been heroes. Have been Raiden and Raiden, Olga, and Frank Yeager. That's pretty much been the only ones that's been helpful. You know, we already know that. We already saw from the tweets that they're supposed to be the Metal Gear Solid 5 version of the Haven Troopers, or maybe even the Tengu soldiers that we see in the Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance Sons of Liberty, whatever copy that you currently have. I can't imagine them being related somehow, like the precursor to the cyborg ninja. The other thing is that the weapons surpass Metal Gear. The weapons surpass Metal Gear, I think, and this is not my own theory. Those other theories were my own theories. This is not my own theory, so I like to give credit where credit is due. Sagacious dude. I don't know how to spell it. You can look him up on YouTube, but he has a video on it. The weapon to surpass Metal Gear. The only weapon that we've seen thus far in the future of that same series have been Arsenal Gear. So I think we're going to see a precursor to Arsenal Gear. Something that's either the prototype or something leading up to Arsenal Gear. I think that's the only thing I gotta say about that. And last but not least, I think we're gonna see optional objectives or opposite mission objectives. The reason why I say that is because of Miller, the dynamic between Miller and Ocelot. Miller and Ocelot's dynamic in the Quiet trailer is kind of representative of what Far Cry 4's Golden Path was, with that dude and that one lady. I can't remember their names right now, but there was one mission where they had opposite objectives because they had opposite ideas on how they wanted to lead the Golden Path. I can't imagine, you know, that they're always gonna be friendly, you know, towards one another. We saw in that Quiet scene where, you know, Ocelot said seize her and Miller said fire, and then said Ocelot said she saved the boss, and Miller said no, she was saving herself, and then they said fire, and then Big Boss came along and said put her in the cell, you know. And then so I think we're gonna have to make some choices like that on Mother Base, where, you know, either we're gonna handle certain missions where it leans more towards Ocelot, or something that leads towards Miller. But, you know, that won't mean that the game is going to end more than one way. It just means that there's different ways to get towards the same objectives, as we've seen with trying to actually handle the missions themselves in different times of days, with different weapons, with different strategies. So I think that's what we're going to see. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that it was at least thought-provoking. I don't know how informative it was, but, you know, I can only do so much from here. There's not much that I can say. I already discussed the custom pre-save loadouts. there's pretty much no more ideas that I got. Just some of those concerns and theories. I already discussed the main concern with, you know, Quiet. I want to see more women, and I want to see her be more important. I don't think that she is going to be that important to the story, but you know, you never know. Kojima might surprise us. So, again, that's all I have. This is Voxel Pro signing off. So I'll see you guys later.